Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Bird Strategy House and podcast, live 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday morning. So we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Let me get myself set up with inviting some peeps in, and we'll get things started. And really a great week going into the presidential inauguration Monday. So it's going to be a big Monday. It'd be interesting to see what the market opens up as on that Monday, that Tuesday. So it'll be really interesting to watch. I'll give you some updates to the market itself uh, in just a few minutes. I'm just going to invite some fellow clubhouse members in so we can get started with this great discussion this morning. Time management strategies for real estate investors. So I think we all need a little time management at time to time, so we can all get a little overwhelmed with things that come in at us. But we'll break it down a little bit, and we'll talk about the market initially. I did put an article out about this and a survey, so please look out for it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, um, not TikTok at this point, but a couple of the other social media buckets. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. So top time management strategies for real estate investors. So first, we're going to go into our articles in our market today. I always post different articles from Mortgage News Daily, which is a great site to kind of get some information on the current market. Rates came down a little bit, but they were at the all-time high for the last couple of weeks. We are at about 7.08 on the 10-year treasury to the 30-year fixed, 7.08. Still not a place where a lot of people want to be at to buy homes. So home buying sales are down. It's in the last quarter, no surprise. I'm seeing the investor upbeat moving up, which I'm pretty excited about to see. Starting to see a lot more buying, a lot more fixed to rent, a lot more fixed to flip, and a lot more DSCR coming onto the front line. Um, Home building, you're seeing the home building flipping, going to more the build to rent environment, not really as much on the build to sell. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that and see where that goes as well. Um, Very interesting to watch. Obviously, Trump's making some massive announcements with White House economic policy team. So you're really going to be interesting to see that first week coming out of the gate, post inauguration, and what he does and how that impacts the market. Will rates go up? Will rates go down? I see about a quarter point change a little bit, but I don't see it dropping. I see it staying very at a 7% or higher rate right now. Not because I want to see it that way. I just think inflation is still not where we want to be. Obviously, we have some serious economic concerns that we need to peel back and take a look at. So it'll be very interesting to watch and see where this all shakes itself out. But I could see the economic confidence coming back quite a bit, and less concerned that we're going to have a revival in economic opportunities for real estate investing and the professionals out there. So very cool articles that are out there on Mortgage News Daily. Take a look at it. I try to post one or two, every other day, and then I post some other articles and some ones that I write up. Some other articles I caught on DS News. Obviously, we know pending home sales fall to a 24-month low. Interesting to watch. We'll keep an eye out on that as well. Um, so that's no surprise. We're in the winter market going into the first quarter, but rates are still high where inventory is still very stale, and what's on the market is a little inflated. So the consumer is kind of taking a step back. I'm seeing more investors buying Class B plus properties to renovate and hold in this last quarter than I've seen in quite a while. So very interesting to watch there. Good article. Next article that I caught. Um, Renters, where are they? Well, like what is going on and what's going on with their migration? So, evolving tenant preferences are increasing. They obviously want newer environments, newer like technology when they're moving into someplace. I posted this article as well. They want to look at complementary months in rent. So you're starting to see DSCR lowering. You're starting to see the investor, the rental pool shrinking a little bit because people are thriving toward these 3-month free rental opportunities. It'll be interesting to watch going into the spring market how rentals look like with all the institutional investors coming to the front line with newer inventory, offering a lot of different perks, and what will do to the single family through four family or the small balance multifamily. And then one last thing that caught my eye article. Record number of renters struggle with affordability. Are we pricing renters out? Is the question of the day. So that's very interesting to watch. Are we getting pricing ourselves out to the point where affordability for the renter is even getting out of reach compared to the home buyer? So we'll watch that, keep an eye on that. But I see rental numbers flattening. I see an opportunity though of identifying a different type of renter, maybe more on the affordability housing, more Section 8 environment. I'm seeing Section 8 popping up a little more aggressively comparatively to market rent. So it'll be interesting to watch that going into 25. And again, we got a very interesting first quarter coming up ahead. A lot of excitement, but yet a lot of concern. But our presentation today is discussing, top time management strategies for real estate investors. As a real estate investor, effective time management is crucial for success in the demanding field. We're going to discuss how to optimize that time, prioritizing tasks, starting each day by identifying the most critical tasks that need your attention, and focusing on high impact activities that align with your investment goals. Now, remember, in real estate investing, time is an asset. By prioritizing tasks and managing your time efficiently, you can maximize your productivity in achieving your investment objectives. I want to thank our sponsors because, again, it's always about time management. They've put the time in to support this great podcast. I want to thank Realty 411, Miss Linda Pelagas, our national publication and a producer of national events throughout the country. MB Capital Solutions, where we're providing unsecured business lines of credit as a referral partner for real estate professionals nationwide. I want to thank Lendmark, where I am a senior loan analyst providing nationwide asset-based lending in the DSAR, fixed to rent, fixed to flip, new construction, multifamily advisory and real estate space for real estate professionals. And I want to thank Mr. Yardell Perkins, my co-founder and co-host of this podcast with Perkatech, who's providing social media architecture and setups for real estate professionals throughout the country. He's now rolling out a package on the white label marketing that we're now offering to individuals to broker our money. So we're now setting up a white label marketing campaign. He's offering a social media package to help you grow out that opportunity to make yourself additional revenue stream as a potential broker correspondent with Lendmark Capital. And then we got some great events coming up for the end of the month. We got an event on the 27th. I'm teaching CE in Lehigh Valley for real estate agents on asset-based lending fundamentals. And I'll have that posted up today. And then I'm also co-hosting an event in Cherry Hill, New Jersey on January 30th. It's a luncheon with real estate agents and investors. We're having it at a co-working space within a mall. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. So we're putting some great opportunities still for the rest of the month. In February, we have four or five great opportunities. We have Elite Deal Makers, South Jersey, Elite Deal Makers in Philadelphia, and Elite Deal Makers that's coming on board in Lehigh Valley. That's our newest association where we're aligning with Elite Deal Makers, which is a great networking group based out of Richmond, Virginia, with Jim Ingersoll, and we're rolling out a bunch of events under their umbrella. They offer Sherwin-Williams discounts and Lowe's discounts to all their memberships. So if anybody needs those discount codes, please email me. I'll send you the link where you can get discounts through Elite Deal Makers. So let's get started with our moderators this morning, just to kind of get a quick glimpse of what their thoughts are on time management strategies for real estate investors. And then I'll give some additional information. We'll go with ladies first. We haven't seen this young lady in a few minutes. Amy, good morning and welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning, time management strategies for real estate investors. And let's get a little update on prop tech council, et cetera, as well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm Amy Palvido. I am the chairwoman of the U.S. PropTech Council. We are the trade association for the real estate technology industry in the United States. And I'm also a longtime real estate investor, and I'm a founder of a PropTech company myself, which is an AI company for real estate firms. So that's me, and we're going to talk about time management strategies for real estate. So, if I were to say anything, I would say you should be using AI. That's going to save you the most time. And I just recently published my book, From Data to Deals, which basically helps you save time. So it's kind of a great topic, Joe. So I have lots of things I can say. I mean, our top 3 tips are use AI as much as you can. There's free tools out there. Be proficient at ChatGPT or your LLM of choice, but Claude, I like Claude. And learn to use it and learn to understand how much it can save you on any sort of time management strategies that you're working on. And you can even ask ChatGPT, what is the best way to save time, which I find pretty interesting. So, yeah, that's who I am. And the U.S. PropTech Council has several events. We are probably going to have about 200 events this year because we have so many local chapters that are getting formed across the United States. We have about 10 cities that are forming local chapters now. And so each of them will be hosting events. And but if you go to proptechcouncil.com, you can find all of our events that we're having this year.
So, Amy, I saw a quote today, the other day, where somebody said, if you do not accept and take in AI, you're not going to be able to work in the next couple of years. It's like you're not going to be able to function. I mean, I use AI for all my event setups, all my posts, everything, all my articles, everything that's going out, and with my social media administrator that I just retained, all that is AI at this point, all of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it honestly, people don't even know that when they're actually just using a Google search, they're using AI. I mean, like Google's even adopting it. I mean, usually the first response is Gemini, but yep. But at the end of the day, yeah, everything is kind of transitioning to there. But it's what is really super useful in saving you time is learning how to use AI agents. So the AI agent itself can automate and do a lot of the reporting that you normally have to do. Like I'm building out some AI agents I've got 2 real estate brokers I'm working with. One is on all the reporting that they do. So I'm building out an AI agent for them for all they do quarterly analyst reports, and we're working with one, and we're gonna do that they're in the Bay Area, and they do 7 quarterly reports, and we're building out an AI agent to do that for them. I have another broker who's in the Nashville area, and she wants me to help her build out an agent to do her BOVs, which she does on a regular basis. As long as it's the same process that you do over and over and over, and it's just pulling data from multiple sources, you can apply an AI agent to it. Now, will it do everything that a human can do? Probably not. But it might do 90% of it. And then all you're having to do is spend 10% on the last bit of pieces, maybe review it and send it on its merry way. But you can use an agent to save you a ton of time. So we have been using agents for our automations for the last year. And then when I just kind of recognized in the industry as Salesforce was saying that they're not going to hire software engineers anymore because they're getting such good productivity out of the agents that they're using. I felt like that was the best method to introduce AI into real estate teams is to build out agents. So I'm building out agents for 4 different companies right now. So that's kind of what we pivoted to.
Yeah, I retained a former employee of Google to do a lot of my video clips and AI work, where he's posting across all my platforms, my Facebook pages, my
Yeah.
LinkedIn, my
Yeah.
Instagram. He was doing TikTok. That's stalled for a minute. My
Yeah.
Google. Where else is he doing it? He's also on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
I think there's one other thing site he's doing it on. I can't remember the top of my head. But what he's doing now is like he's brought balance to all my social media platforms with video clips and hashtags and link backs. Then the next step, February 1, he's going to dive into Google and my business profile, which we really have kind of cleaned up, and we're going to enhance that and spend some money there. I also have another group scraping my entire LinkedIn profile and all my Facebook groups and pulling that data into my CRM with Yordell and myself. So we're simultaneously we're kind of like cleaning up shop and making it look neat and nice, but the video clips are beautiful and the quotes that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you that there's AI that does all of that
I
now.
know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not doing any of it.
Opus clips will make your clips for you. Your post generation that could be all done by AI. Scraping LinkedIn could be done there too. All of that can be done with an agent at this juncture. And the agents will become and building out an agent is not it's not difficult. I can even do it. Like I don't need a coder to build out an agent.
Yeah.
They're pretty modular. And it's pretty interesting to see how you can build them out now. But I think that's where it goes. I think agents are going to replace even software platforms. I mean, if you have a SaaS company that doesn't deploy AI in some form or fashion, or you don't have proprietary data or something like that along with your platform, and an LLM, even ChatGPT is going to replace you.
Yeah.
Because it can do so many different things. The only thing you have to be aware of, especially with real estate folks, is they do have a lot of proprietary data, stuff that your clients probably don't want you to share. And if you were creating offering memorandums on ChatGPT, just beware that that is now open source. You just did an open kimono on everything on that property because now ChatGPT has it. So you have to be. That's why agents are going to be popular, because the AI agent is not going to take that data and broadcast it out to the world. The agent is doing the automation that you're asking it to do, but keeping your data safe.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of the world goes to, is the whole agent side, and having people build them for you, and then they reside kind of with you instead of to the world with the LLMs.
Yep.
So yeah.
I appreciate that, Amy, and appreciate you coming on board this morning.
Yeah.
Time management strategies, real estate investing can be a very demanding endeavor, requiring careful planning and efficient use of time. Prioritizing ruthlessly and that 80-20 rule, identifying 20% of the activities that yield 80% of your results, focusing on energy that the high impact tasks, okay? And categorizing tasks as urgent, important, urgent, not important, not urgent, important, or urgent, not important. Prioritizing that are both urgent and important. And then time blocking. Allocate specific time slots for different activities. I can give you a fact. In the morning, when I get back from the gym, my priority is addressing every email, every follow up. Anybody I met the night before gets an email thanking them the night I was meeting them, connecting with them on LinkedIn. All those follow ups take about an hour or two before I start making phone calls. I take care of what's in my email, what's in my business cards that I met at an event from the night before. Delegation, too, as well, outsourcing tasks. I've retained a social media marketer, somebody that's out of that worked for Google, that's balancing out video clips, taking advantage of the 100+ podcasts we've done in the past year, clipping them, setting up quotes, pushing that information out, looking like I have an entire team behind me from an AI perspective. Okay. We're now coordinating 4 or 5 events a month, all through AI. And then obviously understanding and embracing automation, utilizing technology, automating recurring tasks, minimizing certain things. Like, listen, you don't have to go out and drive to meet with somebody anymore. It's do a Zoom call. Zoom is easy, or Google Meets. Using video conferencing, getting more accomplished in the day is so more important. I'm doing more video conferences more than ever before. Now, some people you got to meet in person. There's no doubt, but having the capability of doing the video meeting is so important. And batching similar tasks, right? Group similar tasks together and complete them in a single session, and setting clear goals, defining specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, and regularly reviewing and adjusting those goals. Like, I just bought a database of certain states of all the real estate agents. We're gonna infiltrate that into my data a little at a time, not just doing a whole massive dump and seeing if it works or not. I want to see how a portion of it at a time works, and prioritizing and avoiding procrastination. Just jump right into it, man. Break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps, using different rules and rewarding yourself for completing these tasks, right? Prioritizing self-care. Make time for rest and relaxation, right? Get your sleep, get your workout in, take care of your health, engaging in activities that help you de-stress, and avoiding burnout by maintaining a healthy work-life balance. I don't go out to an event every Saturday. I do it every couple Saturdays because I need that time for myself, for health and wellness. That's a very important perspective. By implementing some of these strategies, you can significantly improve your time management skills, increasing your productivity and achieving greater success in your endeavors. Bob, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion. Time management strategies for real estate investors.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Are you able to hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, seems like they fixed the glitch that was plaguing my phone here. So my name is Bob Chesick, president of Chespin Corporation, helping people set up LLCs, corporations, registered agent, all that good stuff. I cannot give you legal or tax advice as I'm not a lawyer or an accountant. Time management, the things that come to mind for me with this is, and to yield back a little bit to what Joe said, first thing I'm going to say is beware the time wasters. Beware the people that don't respect your personal boundaries and just want to suck up all your time for their personal needs, whereas you get nothing out of that. One of the challenges I had going through the growth of my businesses, and it's one of the things I had to learn, that every opportunity is not always an opportunity. And Joe and I are of the same cloth. We follow up with everybody we meet. We try to get the messages out as fast as we can, usually a day or two. In the old days, I used to actually physically mail letters. That was quite the process. And it usually resulted in a lot of conversations. But the thing that sometimes will happen, and this is what I've learned, is I get random calls, texts, emails all day, all night, all weekend. And with the business I run, which is not real estate based, we run for all purposes on government hours. If we can't access the government systems we need to pull your copies of your documents, file anything, whatever, there's nothing we can really do to process an order. Some states you can do it 24/7, but the federal systems are shut down on the weekends and holidays. In fact, while I was waiting for my turn, I just had to send an email out to somebody and explain to them that I cannot get them an EIN number until Tuesday, because tomorrow is a federal holiday and the IRS systems are closed on weekends and federal holidays. So it's not going to be processed. And what I've started to do is I've started moving a lot more towards appointment-based meetings. That doesn't mean that I don't take calls if something comes up critically, but I've been more careful about taking calls outside of business hours in any situation where, sorry, I just got a weird pop-up from Clubhouse here. Hang on, let me see if I can clear this. It's like inviting me to have a private chat with someone while I'm talking. It's wonderful. I've learned that I have to be more careful about making sure that I handle matters in a timely fashion, but within the boundaries of when I can actually do something for the client. And in a lot of ways I took back my weekends, I took back my holidays, and there are days where I just don't answer messages because there's nothing I can do. I wait till the next business day, next opportunity. So sometimes it's okay to remember, if someone's trying to take your personal time up, it's okay to wait to sit on that message till the next business day. These things are allowed in many circumstances. Yes, there are people that will be impatient about that, but that's just the nature of the beast. You have to understand that. But my number one thing is beware of the time wasters. The other strategy for time management is don't spend time doing tasks, trying to hack tasks that you don't understand or just take up way too much time from something you could be doing productively, whether business or personal. And what I mean by that is this: if you don't understand how to for example, if you don't understand how to properly keep your books for your business, get a bookkeeper. Get somebody that will take that task for an hour or two a week to come in and put all your information in and make sure that your books are cleaned up. That you might spend 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 hours doing that. If you're spending that much time, think of those extra hours that you're not doing towards something that could either be generating revenue or on your personal time doing something that you want to be doing. So think of tasks that you can delegate out. You're not a master at 100% of everything you do. And this is a lesson I've had to teach myself and learn myself over the years, being in business 22 years. You can't know it all. You can't learn it all. So take back some of your time by delegating out the tasks that you don't understand how to do to a professional who will get it done for you in a fraction of the time, so you can focus on the things that you want to do. So those are my two big time management tips. With that, Joe, I will yield the microphone back to you.
Bob, thank you. And thank you for coming back onto the Creative Birth Strategy podcast and now doing some pop-ups during the week in regards to what you do. And I wanted to just throw out a thank you for that as well, because I'm just here on Sundays now at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, providing education, networking, and strategy on a different subject. And, Bob brought up a good bullet point: strategies for avoiding time wasters. Time is a precious resource. So like wasting time and productivity and achieving goals is very complicated. You're always getting these pop-ups and advertisements, and just listen, you got to focus. What is gonna make the most amount of sense and prioritizing? I attack each email the same way, whether it's the hardest email or the easiest email, and I bull myself through, breaking down the task, right? Creating a schedule, managing the distractions, right? Limiting the social media while you're focusing on tasks. Now, yes, I like to have 3 or 4 posts go up a day, whether it's education, motivation, inspiration. But if I have a work at hand, that's priority, right? So you got to batch your time correctly and learn to say no. If it's something you don't do, you just don't do it. Well, do you know somebody? Maybe send me an email. I'll make an introduction. But if it's something you don't focus on, don't get caught up being the Red Cross. Say, listen, I do not address that type of function. I cannot assist you. If you want to send me an email, I'll see if I can make an introduction for you. That's it. No. The answer is no. Okay. And you really need to develop good habits: being punctual, practicing time boxing, learning to delegate effectively, reviewing and reflecting on your week or your day. What went wrong? What do you feel like went wrong and what went right? Practicing the self-care is also, these are implementing great strategies to become mindful of how you spend your time and avoiding common time wasters, leading to increased productivity, reduced stress, and a greater sense of accomplishment. We're going to go back to ladies first again. Sophia, good morning. Welcome up. Brief overview: who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning: time management strategies for real estate investors. Sophia, There you are.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, all. Sophia Funchez, licensed realtor professional in the state of New Jersey. I've been in the business for about 10 years. For time management, I agree with everything that the moderators have said. Just really knowing your boundaries and knowing what is important, prioritizing. I like to schedule things. I like to put things in my calendar. And at times I may number them as to priority. And I find a sense of accomplishment when I start to check things off. That really gives me a sense of accomplishment as I check things off going through my day. I also appreciate saying no, knowing what I can accomplish, knowing how I can help someone, or I'm not able to help them, like the other moderator said. Introduce them to to other resources. Just knowing what I'm capable of doing within the time slot that I have, because having time for myself and my family is very important, and having time to read information on the business, things of that nature is very important. So I like to schedule that as well. Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming up and taking a shot at being a moderator. So thank you for being up here this morning. You know, something that caught my ear when Sophia was talking is checking in with past clients. When's the last time you've done an email? Hey, just check in, hope all's well with someone. I try to do that to 5 different clients or people that I've done business with in the past year, a day. I try to take 5 people that I haven't heard from and just do a quick email check-in, checking in, hope all is well. Let me know if I could be of any assistance. Do you know how many nice comments I get back by just that personalized communication and segmenting a method where it's just very cordial and it's providing a value. I get complete with people. If they don't answer back, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I feel great by just sending that out to somebody and saying, "Hey, I hope all is well. Checking in. Happy New Year." What? That's marketing. Just doing 5 customized emails. It's not spam. You're just checking in. You know, it's a diverse way of engagement, right? It's not like just a social media, or you could do it on Facebook. See who's online at the time and say, checking in. Hey, how are you? How is everything going? Is everything going well? Let me know if I could be of assistance. Like I ran into somebody I hadn't seen in quite a while at a function on a Friday night. My wife and I went to a happy hour. I hadn't seen him in a minute. I didn't recognize him right off the bat. He lost quite a bit of weight and took health by storm, like myself. And we caught up. I say, hey, listen, here's my card. If there's anything I could do for you, if I could make an introduction for you, give me a call. I didn't ask for business. I didn't go for the juggler and say, hey, can we work together? If there's somebody I can make an introduction to make your business better, reach out to me. I'll make the introduction. He goes, Joe, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll keep that in mind. I'll note that on the card. You don't know where it's going to go to, but it's just a nice gesture. You gotta shift things up. You gotta also get some feedback and follow up. When you complete a transaction with somebody, follow up with them. Hey, maybe it didn't go exactly well, but to be the professional, do the right follow up and check in. Brian, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to time management strategies for real estate investors.
Morning, Joe. Thank you. Hello, friends. My name is Brian Guth. I am an investor in the upstate New York region. I do fix and flips, fix and holds, Airbnbs, all the fun stuff. As I've been thinking through the topic this morning of time management, for me that kind of goes hand in hand with goals. And as I was thinking through it, it's really making sure your goals are crisp, right? Because if you don't have crisp goals of exactly what you want to do, then you have to do that first, have a clean vision of what your tasks are, and therefore be cognizant of those tasks you want to do. So yeah, maybe we have a goal of, okay, I want to scale this year. Okay, well, what does that mean? So break it down more. Like what does scaling look like to you? Okay, so you get a number in mind. Okay, well, where? How? And really breaking those things down into bite-sized chunks, as someone else mentioned, that getting into bite-sized chunks. And then really, once those bite-sized chunks are there, like really map out the priority of it, how long you estimate each task may take, and then kind of going from there. There was a really interesting article I read probably several years ago. It really just stuck with me. If you have a task written down, okay, go buy new tires. Okay, great. Was your task really to buy tires, or are there multiple tasks involved in that? Are you just going to go into some shop and pick up 4 tires, or are you going to shop around? So maybe it's really call these places. Okay, do you have their phone number? No. Research their phone number. So the task on your sheet of paper may say buy tires, but you may have 5 subtasks to do, and then prioritize those. How long are they going to take? And really just kind of break it down into bite-sized chunks. And that's the big thing for me. It's not only, like you said, time is precious. So how are we going to utilize the time, and how are we going to break it down into those chunks? I also think, like, I'm an analogy guy, so I think about a road trip. Okay, I want to go to San Francisco. Okay, great. Well, how am I going to get there? Am I going to set the GPS to no tolls? Am I going to set it to avoid traffic? Am I going to set it to fewest, or most convenient for gas stations? So these different things of not only knowing where you're going, but how you want to get there. I think sometimes it's scary to really map out that specificity of how you want to get there, so we kind of avoid it sometimes. But for real, it's really making sure you know where you want to go, but also how you want to get there, and breaking those into bite-sized chunks, and then really taking those bite-sized chunks, prioritizing them. Go break them down into A, B, C categories, and then from there, what's your highest A category, your second highest A category, things like that. So really just getting granular with what those items are, how long you think they're going to take. And for me, having that granularity helps me make sure I'm spending my time preciously and making sure all of those actually are value add versus I think they're value add or they feel good. I think Bob mentioned it. Know your limits, know what you're good at. And if you're not good at something, find someone else who is. Check your ego at the door. It's just those little things like that. So with that, I turn it back over.
Brian, it's so funny. Weren't we just talking about me delegating time to get up to the Rochester REIA? Remember, didn't we just have a conversation about this to make sure that I prioritize my time leaving from Allentown to get to Rochester?
Exactly.
Right? So I was trying to effectively figure out, because I'm going to go to an event that Brian goes to every month, because I have an event the night before in Allentown. So he's like, hey, 2 hours gets you to Binghamton, 3 hours gets you to Syracuse, 4 to 5 hours gets you to Rochester. So I said, well, somewhere between Binghamton and Syracuse, I will, take a hotel room, get up the next morning, and get to Rochester. So, like, I'm prioritizing time because I want to get to that event. One, I want to support Brian and what he's doing up there in Rochester. We're working together, but I'm defining my time allotment to get there and get back, right? I'm defining my goals clearly. I'm using a smart framework. I'm staying accountable. I'm staying motivated. I'm overcoming obstacles, and I'm reviewing and reflecting, and I'm adjusting my goals as my strategies change and evolve. And I'm staying very clear with my and developing a roadmap for success. And that's what you got to do. You got to remember that goal setting is an ongoing process that requires effort, commitment, and continuous refinement. Felix, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning, time management strategies for the real estate investors. Felix going once. Felix going twice. We'll skip Felix for the time being. We'll go to another young lady. Anna, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning, time management strategies for real estate investors.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. I just came in, so I'm not really where you guys are at, but I'm a realtor and investor and mentor here in Chester County, Pennsylvania, about 40 minutes west of Philly. And just came in because I don't know if you know, but this is my therapy time where I start to cook on Sundays, and I pretty much cook all day, especially when it's cold out. So I'm just listening in for now, and I'll probably add in more later.
So Anna, how is business up in the Chester County market?
It's doing well. I just put a new listing on market yesterday and like yesterday evening, and we already have 4 showings scheduled. Looking at the social media and other um, insights, looks like it's got, a lot of views, a lot of attention in the first 24 hours. I always look at that. So that's good. And it's a bit in the higher price point. So I was, not 100% certain how that would go. Anything 600,000 and under, it flies off. Doesn't matter what it looks like. If it's under 600,000, it's pretty much gonna go for multiple offers and be gone quickly. Over 800,000, it's a little different, maybe so, but it has to be in better condition for sure. All in all, if you asked me a year or so, 2 years ago, if the interest rates hit 7 and over and the prices continue to appreciate year over year, would that then switch us to a buyer's market? And I would think at least an even market, right? But nope, still a hot and ridiculous seller's market here in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean that's where migration's going. So, I mean, we can't say the same for Philadelphia County or the urban settings of a lot of cities throughout the country. I think we're going through a reset in the urban cities, depending on affordable housing and market rent. Almost in every city in the country, I'm seeing a lot of leveling. But I see the suburbs or even the semi-suburb rural markets doing really well. And Chester County is a great example of migration, out of an urban setting where people are getting out of Dodge and trying to figure out what they're doing. And that comes back to efficient time management as a real estate agent. You really need to focus on marketing and advertising and prospecting lead generation, traveling to showing appointments. How do you figure it all out, right? You know, who's taking care of the administrative duties, right? Working with and representing buyers and sellers, managing properties. You know, there's some things that you need to prioritize, using time blocking to prioritize tasks, right? Building a team out, maybe. I don't know if everybody wants to have a team. I think recruiting is becoming a little more popular in certain areas. Scheduling, yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I don't, I know a lot of people that don't want a team. They because they don't want to.
Done that, and I dismantled my team in 2021, I think it was. I had a team of 12 agents at the highest point, and then dismantled it actually simultaneously as we became empty nesters. And I think in the moment I had like an aha that I was building this other quote unquote family to be mother hen to other people because my kids were leaving, but didn't realize that I was actually doing that. But more so to this conversation, you could definitely have an lengthy conversation on to team or not to team. Should you join one? Should you create one? The pros and cons. I mean, I've gone through the ups and downs and all around. And at the end of the day, for me personally, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's what fuels you, what fills you, and if you get enough positive out of it. But for me, it just wasn't worth it. Yeah, I probably made more money, but when you come down to a P&L, was it really all that much money? Not really, not for the aggravation. So that's my perspective. I'm not saying that's true for teams. I'm just saying for me, I'd rather be a certified mentor and coach to agents that join under me, but I'd like to teach them how to be independent business owners and not rely on me. And I guess in a way, I kind of try to teach my kids that too, right? So my parenting styles and my mentoring and team leader, styles kind of coincide.
Yeah, I think focusing on lead gen is very important. I think team building could be of some importance. Not always the case. I know some people that have been in the business quite a while that don't have any desire of team building. They just want to focus on their business, keep their nose down, and you know, and, and delegate out the non-core responsibilities, right? Um, forming daily habits and goals to size up what type of productivity actions that you want to create results with. Okay. So I think it's very important that getting into habit building allows you to get more work done. So it's funny, I was on a call with my team at the office, and they're like, "How do you get all this work done?" I said, "Just get up earlier. Obviously, get up earlier. You're not getting up on time enough to get all your work done, to take care of your health and get all these phone calls and all these emails out. There's something that you're missing, and be consistent. Like, we're expanding the networking events again. Okay. We're focusing on our social media analytics. I'm being consistent. I'm spending money in the right direction. I don't need to go to really big events. I got to go to a lot of good, smaller, concentrated events to meet great people. I don't think the big events make a lot of sense for me. I like that event where it's somewhere between 50 and 100 people. When it gets to 100 to 300 people or 500 to 2,000 people, I either have to have the best location and I definitely have to be presenting. So I have to pay that extra money to get in front of people. If I'm not speaking, I'm lost in the sauce. If I'm not giving 15, 20 minutes of my time and giving insight to the market or the opportunity, then I'm not getting in front of people. I'll give you a great example. I sponsored an event a couple weeks ago in Philadelphia, and there was about 150 people there. I had an event that very next Saturday, that immediate Saturday, it was on a Tuesday. I said, guys, I'm offering a complimentary event to teach you how to create an extra revenue stream by brokering and white labeling my money to correspond my money on the asset-based lending space. Please come, complimentary breakfast, complimentary lunch. We're going to dive into it. There's real estate investors there for you to meet with and network with. And you could also learn how to broker my money. Do you know I had 5 people show up from that event? Just by having that few minutes, paying a little extra to get 15 minutes of time in front of them made a difference for my event that next immediate Saturday. We had a full room, full opportunity of talking with everybody. But I wouldn't have been able to done that if it was 2,000 people. I think the smaller granular educational masterminds are key. And that ties into time management. Does running an event make sense to be the focus of the attention of the opportunity in your market, right? I have an event at my office in Philadelphia. I have an event in South Jersey. I have an event up in Lehigh Valley. I'm starting one up in North Jersey. I'm partnering with sub two groups in all over the tri-state area. I'm spending money in a small granular way, and then I'm tying it back into my social media and my CRM to then revisit these individuals once I meet them, connect with them, follow up with them. You might not feel that repercussion of meeting somebody maybe for 90 days, but put them into your CRM, follow up with them, make a difference in your business by staying in touch with these individuals. It is so important when it comes to time management. Your phone ringing is an example of your hard, consistent work. The inbound lead traffic is key. Daphne, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning. Time management strategies for real estate investors.
Absolutely. Good morning to you, Joseph, Bob, and everyone else up here. It's my pleasure to share the stage with you guys. So thanks for having me. My name is Daphne Christine. I'm a lender and an investor over here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I love Sunday mornings in here. I'm saying that all the time because I think that you bring really interesting topics. Listen, before I get into some things that I wanted to add, I wanted to touch on what you just talked about, and I think that's so important and correct, Joseph. I was just talking about this week as I dive into, for me, 3 different events this February, right? And I was like, gosh, that's a big week for big month for me as far as travel. And I say that because last year I spent a tremendous amount of time traveling and doing these events and networking, and I like them, right? And they're useful and all these things, but at some point you have to, the risk versus benefit, which is where I'm going here. And so I've been a lot more intentional this year. Sorry, baby girl. I've been a lot more intentional this year with events and how I spend my time. And I couldn't agree more with you, Joseph. I like the smaller events. You can't get lost in the sauce sort of. And one of the things to contribute. Sorry, guys, I am here with my kids and I'm waking them up. So I'm just going to move over here to have that conversation.
It's all good.
Thank you. One of the things that I do to kind of in reference to that is I work within what I call like the same communities. And I stick with like 3 communities, right? And I would call kind of Clubhouse and Chatter, if you will. I would call that one of my communities. And so I work very deep and wide in the communities that I'm in. I don't just kind of go to an event and I've met some people and then I go to another event and I go to another event. I have a handful of communities that I really work through those relationships and really get to know those people. And I think it's important that you find a certain couple communities and work wide and deep in there. And that was just going to be one of the things that I touched on. Another thing that you already said was the CRM system. And I think the CRM system is really, really important. Joseph, as an investor and a lender, it took me a long time to get organized and my back end. And that was really one of the biggest challenges and struggles that I had. And in talking with other investors, that was one of the biggest struggles that they had too. So I ended up creating my own CRM system called Cashflow Pro. And I don't typically promote it or anything, but because it came up, I need to get better at that. So I'll say that was one of the things that helped me out, was getting a really robust CRM system. Another thing that's helped me out is hiring the right virtual assistants. That took some time to find the right people, the right dialects when they're working across in another country, and to get to people that understand your business and exactly what you need. Then you have to go through not just that hiring process, but you got to train them too. So there's a learning curve to all of this. But get yourself some virtual assistants. As virtual assistants, that helped a lot. They don't cost that much. I got Chat GPT. That sounds like such a no-brainer, right? We all use Chat GPT. Listen, I invested in that $200 version, and it was a game changer. That was like hiring someone on my team. I have used that for business plans. I can't even tell you how many things that I've used that for. It's incredible. And sometimes that Chat GPT will get you almost everywhere you need until that line of the attorney. So I don't know. We talked about optimizing the networking. What else did I want to talk about? I batch a lot of my work. And I'll wrap up. I don't want to get too long-winded. I just really, really like this topic this morning, and it's something I've been focused in the last quarter of last year and this one, because there's just not enough hours in the day to get all the things that I wanted accomplished. So now I time batch. For example, I do my podcast live on Tuesdays. So I get my hair done. Seems like a silly thing, right? But it costs money and it's time. So I get my hair done on Tuesdays before that live podcast. I do the live podcast show. And then after that or before that, depending on how the day goes, I make sure to batch out as much other content as I can while I look like a delightful human. So you get the idea. And again, I could go on and on. I think this is a great subject, but I'm sure taken up plenty of time. So again, thanks for always letting me come up and talk. I appreciate the space. I yield.
Thank you, Daphne. I tie into Daphne and what she's saying because there's just so much going on in our space. From a lending perspective, I have a wholesale component, I have a retail component. I'm also a private money lender. So I have multiple lanes in what I do as a direct private lender. And you got to delegate your time. There's only a certain amount of brokers I want to work with because some brokers just don't know how to stack a file. I try to train them and try to show them exactly what I need, and they send me back exactly what I don't need. So you got to weigh out your cost, time, benefit working with people. And I think it also comes along with processing emails efficiently as well, right? Delete, do, delegate, defer. The top-down approach, right? Unsubscribe to stuff that you're not reading. Like I was having a discussion with Yardell, that is obviously one of our top sponsors here and my co-founder of this podcast. And I'm like, Yardell, if they're not opening the data, dump them, get them out. I'd rather have a higher open rate for the people that are in my database than dragging 10,000 people along that are not opening anything. Just dump them, cut them out. whatever we got to do to define our CRM to be more precise. That's where I want organization, because we're going to know who the righteous people are that we're hitting, right? The people that are opening up our emails, reading them, clicking on them, and organizing them and getting impact and lead gen back, right? Optimizing email habits, right? Clear subject lines, concise writing, using templates, unsubscribing from unwanted emails, right? And utilizing email management tools, email clients with advanced features and integrations, right? You have to understand your email database. Like, at the end of the day, you should have what you need for the next day to start in your email box. Everything should be foldered, deleted that's unnecessary to be there, and everything should be focused for you the first thing in the morning, and then whatever additional emails are there. If you're not doing that, you're not in control of your email database. Okay? I have exactly the emails that are supposed to be in my email box for Monday. I know I have 7. I get 300 emails a day. I have 7 emails to work from starting Monday. So think about that.
I'm so envious of your superpowers, Joseph.
I don't know if it's superpower. Well, I don't have to fix my hair, Daphne, because I have a beautiful shaved bald head, so I don't have a hair issue. So maybe that's what it is. But you have to weigh out your cost benefit relationship. And you know where I learned email management? And I think a lot of people don't remember. Maybe you might remember him. His quotes are great. And I had the opportunity to go to two of these gentlemen's event. I went to a Dan Kennedy event and learned how to market myself correctly. And 2, I went to a Brian Tracy event. And I think Brian Tracy gave me the light bulb went off on email management and how to time managing everything out. And I think it was very important. Oh, that's what my balloon for is my happy birthday. I didn't realize that. So I was like, what the hell is this balloon for? To the left. So it's my birthday being on Clubhouse, I think 4 or 5 years now. So you really need to, I can't exactly remember the quote, but Brian Tracy said, have your email completed by the end of the day, that the next day you can go on vacation for 7 days. So you need to be able to keep control of your email database. I know exactly, I'm looking at my email right now. I got an event that I'm scheduling in South Carolina in May. I have an organization I'm joining up with in Long Island on Monday. I have another event that I got to join in March and coordinate it with an event that I'm coming from. I just got an email where I got invited to a cigar event that I met a gentleman, the owner of a cigar place, yesterday, and he asked me to promote it for him. I said I would, no problem. I pushed it out for him. I JPEG pushed it out, and I got that email. And I got one inquiry from a broker that wants to get some pricing on a loan. That's my 7 loan. That's my 7 emails. Everything else has been addressed. Term sheets out, submissions submitted. I submitted 4 loans already. That's done. Everything's in the opening department. Everything's moving along. So you got to delegate out your opportunities with time management. You see, I'm getting a thing here. Yes, Daphne, I'll tell you where I'm going to be in May. I'll be in Greenville, South Carolina. I'll be one of the featured speakers for Anthony Kazazis. So that's where I'll be.
Send me the details. Greenville's not very far from me
Yeah.
at all. It'd be worth the chance to say hello to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do speaking engagements for this gentleman that holds the New York Real Estate Investor Expo. He's having one in South Carolina, so I'm excited about the opportunity. But you need to time managing yourself out. So we're going to go back to our 2 original OG moderators and get their final thoughts to our discussion on time management strategies for real estate investors. We'll go ladies first. Amy, your final thoughts to time management strategies for real estate investors.
Thanks, Joe. I would say when you're doing time management, no matter what tool you're using, if you're going to outsource it to a VA or you're going to outsource it to an AI agent, it's just like painting a house. The prep work is probably 2/3 of the job, right? So when you go to paint a wall, You're going to tape off everything. You're going to sand everything. You're going to make everything ready so you can just do the painting. Well, it's the same thing. When you outsource anything, or you're gonna work on implementing any sort of automation, whether it's a VA or an AI agent, you have to make sure that you documented all your processes, your data sources are clean. You have to do all the upfront work in order to get that automation done. Don't skip that step, because whatever you deploy is not going to work. So I think people taking a good stock, and this is always a great time to do this at the beginning of the year. Take a good stock on what can you eliminate, what can you outsource, and what can you automate. And sometimes the outsourcing really is just to an AI agent at this point, because they're just so robust. So, but do the prep work involved. That would be my half nickel, Joe.
I got a half a nickel. Bob, your final thoughts to time management strategies for real estate investors.
First of all, before I say that, just to let everyone know, because I did get a lot of requests when I did my pop-ups this week. I will be doing a follow-up room to this after Joe closes out the room, which is a little bit more open forum, especially about the BOI reports and the Supreme Court debate. I'll have some updates on that. But my final thoughts on time management is just again, the biggest mistake we make as business owners, and whether it's in the real estate business or if you have other businesses, and I know people in this room have other businesses besides just real estate, is letting other people steal your time and letting your time management get away from you. You don't live to work, you work to live. And that's true even as an entrepreneur. Yes, there are going to be points where you have to put in the overtime, put in the sweat equity. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. That's true even if you have a job. Sometimes things do overlap. But that should be the exception, not the rule. So you heard a lot of strategies today. And what I always just say is, and believe me, I get pushback from my clients and from vendors and from other people. And I say, listen, I've got things going on in my life that, outside of working hours, I have things that I'm doing. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting on the couch, although trust me, I'd like to be. But there are things that I have to do, and there are things you have to do. And yes, it's hard because you're thinking, oh, I should answer that email because maybe that's going to be the next big sale and all that. But the truth is, in 99% of cases, that message is still going to be sitting there on your when you come back to work the next time you're scheduled, whether it's next business day or whatever your business day looks like. It'll be there. Don't panic. Yes, if it's an emergency, take the call. But if it's not an emergency, live your life. And that's my best advice to you. Joe, back to you.
Thanks, Bob. Anna, your final thought to time management strategies for real estate investors. Hopefully you're making a good gravy at the same time.
You did not just call it gravy.
Of course I did.
You did it. Oh my God, Joe.
Can I give you why I called it gravy? Do you want to know? Okay, so there's 5 sister sauces, and the minute you put a meat product in, whether it's fish, meat, pork, anything, it's considered gravy. So have you put meat into the sauce?
No, I get the concept, Joseph, but that is an Italian American thing, not an Italian thing, in that when Italians migrated here, they wanted to Americanize themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the best English definition of a sauce with meat in it, by definition, was gravy.
Yeah. Well, right? I'm going to give you a little secret.
Don't call it gravy. I'm just saying.
I get it. Well, I have a culinary degree, so I fall back to my culinary degree training. Mm-hmm. So I went to New York restaurant school, and so that's why I call sauce and gravy. That's my half a nickel that I add to Amy's.
You put on the turkey. But anyway, yes, and I'll be making that and other good stuff. I don't even know what I make. Half the times I just go in the fridge, pull it all out, and cook it all up, and have a full stocked fridge. So if you ever come visit me, come on a Sunday. By Friday, you'll starve. The refrigerator will be empty. Anyhow, this all makes me think of just acknowledge really who you are, what you are. If you think you're self-employed, but you can't leave the business, you're not. You're an employee. Like you're not living a life where you're actually working on your business. You're just simply working in your business. And so that's not true self-employment or business ownership. And the more that you look to leverage the things and figure out ways to make money while you sleep, you'll be closer to that quadrant, right, of ownership and out of the actual daily activities. How you do that, you first decide that you want to, right? Maybe you like the way things are. Maybe you like showing up. Maybe you like being the only person who could possibly get it done, and your clients have to have you for every effing thing on the plate. God bless you, have at it. But if you're looking to create an actual business, you got to be working on your business more than in it.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I mean, you couldn't get any more precise on that. I feel that everybody needs a little call to action, and my call to action here is reach out to your moderators. Take the time to have a conversation. Send them an email. Say, hey, I'd love to catch up and have 10 to 15 minutes on a Zoom call or Google Meet, or send a Google Meet to one of the moderators. Say, hey, can I have a 15-minute conversation with you to help me take that next step, right? One thing I could tell you, I'm consistent with this podcast every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? There's a consistency. There's consistency and consistency and continuity. Okay, it's like religion. It's not you just don't think of religion on Sundays. You think of religion every single day. It's spiritual. It's got to be you. Nobody can teach you motivation or dedication. These are characteristics that you need to build for yourself. Transformation, creating possibilities is time management strategy for real estate investing, right? These are great characteristics, but you need to have them in your soul. I want to thank our sponsors today. I want to thank Mr. Yargo Perkins of Perkatech, our social media strategist, Ms. Linda Pelagas of Realty 411. I'd like to thank Lenmark Capital, our nationwide asset-based lender. I'd like to thank MB Capital Solutions, your unsecured business line of credit program. And I want to thank our new alliance with Elite Dealmakers, where we're now offering educational events in Philadelphia, South Jersey, Lehigh Valley, and soon to be North Jersey. And again, if you really want to put together an event, prioritizing management, prioritizing CRMs, prioritizing social media, reach out to me and let me see if I could help you. Okay. Now, I don't find it to be a time wasting call or email if you take the time to schedule with me to help you make that transformation. So we'll be back here next Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank our moderators this morning. I want to thank everybody for their engagement and their comments in the chat box. I couldn't get to everything, but everybody should have a great weekend. We got a great Sunday. We got an inauguration tomorrow for our new president. We have a great football game this afternoon and the evening. So enjoy yourself with your family and friends. And my quote this morning, nobody watches you harder than people who doubted you. Give them a good show. I'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds. Thank you and be blessed.